Our game to complement Channel 4's live Sunday coverage. Our game tonight is Internazionale against Parma, where a win for Parma will take them to the top of Serie A. Parma are without their Colombian international Faustino Asprilla, a new signing Massimo Creeper. They're both suspended. The tactical reshuffle sees David Belleri in for his full Serie A debut. He wears number 2. Thomas Brolin and Georges Grun are the club's foreign players tonight. The pre-season championship favourites line up with Jonk, Bergkamp and Rubin Sosa as their 3 permitted overseas players, and that means there's no place for Igor Shalimov, who was expected to play. Fontalan continues in the number 9 shirt in Toto Schillaci's absence. So it's Parma to get this match underway. In 3 previous visits, Parma have failed to win, but remember, Parma ended Milan's 58-match unbeaten run here last March. Can they do the same to Inter? Parma playing from left to right in the first half, and they have a free kick which Minotti will take. Early touch there for Di Chiara. Used to play in the left back berth. Bergkamp, Benarivo, who's been forced to switch to left back for this game for Parma. That's Brolin with a flick on, and goes the return now. Brolin! Hardly a shot worthy of the name, but the Swedish international threatens Inter's goal nonetheless. And the Inter coach, Osvaldo Bagnoli, knows this is going to be one of the toughest games of the season for his side. Bergami, captain of Inter, former captain of Italy. Battistini, switching the emphasis of the attack. Tramezzani, it was a poor ball, easily telegraphed. Zorato, Lorenzo Minotti, that one's picked up by Manicone. Oh, he's had a good shot on goal there, Manicone. And Parma will be disappointed that they gave the ball away in the last third of the field. Manicone was quick to pick up the opportunity and quick to have a shot on goal. Parma have beaten Inter once in 6 Serie A meetings, and they're going to have to do so again to return to the top of Serie A. They led the table going into the weekend, and just for the moment Juventus hold that position after a wonderful 4-0 win earlier today. Now here's Inter. Fontalan, Rubin Sosa. Oh, he delightfully dragged the ball round Grun, and Belleri claims he won the ball fairly. Not according to the referee, though. That means Inter will have a free kick for that shove there. Pucci waiting expectantly on his goal line. This one will be curved in by Rubin Sosa. The goalkeeper was tempted. Battistini! Well, the Parma defence advertised their vulnerability then. And Battistini, the defender from Inter, almost took advantage. That's a header by Jonk, only as far as Brolin. It was a poor ball looking for Gianfranco Zola. Here's that free kick again. Battistini didn't get a clean header on the ball. There may have been an unintentional handball. Di Chiara, no stranger to the left-hand side of a football field. That is his favoured position. Such are the changes enforced on Parma today that he's been forced to play in midfield. Rubin Sosa, dispossessed by his opposite number 11, Thomas Brolin. Many tried to direct the ball on to Di Chiara. Orlando did well to win possession for Inter and sweep the ball forward to Wim Jonk, the Dutchman. Finds another of the overseas players in the team, Rubin Sosa. And Tramezzani seems to have injured an arm in that little scuffle down on the near touch line. That's a lovely turn by Fontalan. Might come through to Sosa. That'll be a free kick to Parma. Rubin Sousa used his weight illegally then. In this incident, it was an unfair shoulder barge. Today's referee, Pierluigi Collina, one of the up-and-coming referees in Serie A. Zola. Maniconi. That was poor control by Maniconi, and Tramezzani looks unable to continue in this game. Zola. Groen! Yes, Parma have the lead! Oh, that's a terrific strike by the big central defender from Belgium. That gives Parma real hope of going back to the top of Serie A. And what a cleanly struck shot by Georges Groen. Zenga got down and tried to save it, but the shot was just too fast and it sped past him. Inter 0, Parma 1. Well, Inter were the only unbeaten side at home last season. Their last home defeat came back in May '92 against Cremonese. They're a goal behind and are now contemplating a substitution because their fullback Paolo Tramezzani has damaged an arm. Just for the moment they're down to 10 men. Free kick to Inter. Maniconi standing over the ball. Inter will have to come from behind to rescue this game. They've got plenty of time to do it. Here's Rubin Sousa. Zorato. Groen, whose goal now separates these two teams. 7 is Melli, who's already won a couple of caps now for Italy. Still trying to diagnose a problem with Tramezzani, and Inter can't afford to be down to 10 men for much longer. Indeed, number 14, Massimo Paganin, is about to come on for them, and that means there'll be 2 Paganins in the Inter 11. Antonio wears number 5, Massimo wears number 14. Now here comes the Parma offside trap, and in the end it took a foul to deny Fontolan a route through the Parma defence. Davide Fontolan, who spent 1 season with Parma, cost the club £5 million from Genoa back in 1990. Arguably his place would be in doubt if Schillaci was fit. Now Rubin Sousa can really strike them from this sort of range. Can Inter come up with a reply? The defensive wall just about did its job. Here's Maniconi. Fontolan. 5 here is Paganin. Oh, Bergkamp, it came off Benarivo. And there's Battistini slashing wildly at the ball. It was a good move by Inter. Bergkamp had the best chance. It ricocheted off Benarivo and through to their central defender. And in fact, the linesman had his flag raised, so that wouldn't have counted had it gone in. Di Chiara holds the ball up intelligently. Zola. They say that Parma passed the ball more than any other team in Serie A. You can see why people think that. Valeri. They give it away this time though. Antonio Paganin. Rubin Sousa, upended by Zorato, and legally according to the referee. That's one thing that Parma are also pretty good at, retrieving the ball once they've lost possession. This is Minotti, their captain. Remember, Parma, the holders of the Cup Winners' Cup, trophy they won at Wembley Stadium at the end of last season. They really are the new kids on the block when it comes to the senior teams of Serie A. Battistini, Sousa, plenty of blue and black shirted players pouring forward, including Bergkamp, tried just to wriggle through that gap. Now Sousa is onside. He has scored. No! Yes! It's a curious goal, and Parma are furious that Rubin Sousa wasn't given offside when he headed the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Into our back level, and Benarivo needed a ladder here to rescue that ball as it hit the crossbar. Benarivo isn't the tallest defender in Serie A, and my goodness, he needed a few more inches here to lift that ball over his own crossbar before Rubin Sousa followed the ball into an unguarded net. Parma still feel that perhaps Sousa or Fontaine was offside, but that goal counts. Inter 1, Parma 1, and Parma's lead, given to them by Georges Grun, lasted just 7 minutes. Rubin Sousa incidentally missed the early part of the season on World Cup duty. I'm sure Inter are delighted to have him back now, and here he is again threatening Parma's defence. He wins his side a throw-in. What a shame it is that Uruguay haven't qualified for the World Cup in the USA next year, because the world stage will be deprived of the skills of Rubin Sousa. Whether Bergkamp or Sousa were offside matters little. This was great determination by Rubin Sousa, and when the ball came back off the crossbar, he was there where it mattered. Grun. Neat triangle of passes. Brolin, Minotti. Brolin hasn't really made an impact on this game yet. So often is Parma's most effective contributor in a game. Just scooping the ball on there. And it'll be hooked away by Orlando. We made a real meal of the clearance. It came down to Melli. Well, Orlando took an age to clear the ball, and Melli almost took advantage of that. He really was running down a blind alley. The ball was spinning wildly in front of Melli. Sousa. Bergkamp now. It took a deflection, and in these wet conditions that could have easily squirted past the Parma goalkeeper Bucci as Bergkamp struck that ball. Inter have come back into this game with a vengeance. Free kick to Parma. There was some pushing by Dennis Bergkamp. Six is Georges Grun. Zorato. Most of Parma's moves tend to go through the number 8, Zorato. Zola, that's a great ball. Benarivo now. He needs support, hasn't got too much, and that's why he tried the shot. I don't think he's very pleased that the only white-shirted colleague he had to aim at was David Belleri, the opposite fullback. And just involved in that build-up, Bergami was guilty of a foul. The referee allowed the advantage, but now he's going to yellow card the captain of Inter. Already been suspended once this season. Here's Bergami again, the only active member from the 1982 World Cup team. Incidentally, before tonight, Parma had conceded a goal in only 3 Serie A games this term. Their defence is one of the best in the division. And they will claim that the goal scored by Rubin Sousa shouldn't have counted anyway. Fontalan. Almost given straight back to Antonio Paganin. De Chiara. I think it's fair to say his right foot isn't his strongest. Zorato. Bergkamp. Some of the defending in this game is disappointing, to say the least. That clearance there by Minotti aimed straight at number 10, Dennis Bergkamp. Yonk. Hopeful ball played in by Manicone. Bucci with a clearance. Melli unable to direct his header. Similar story for Paganin. Melli again. Just tucked away by Bergami. Still plenty of pressure here for Parma. Here's Brolin. Just ricocheted back off Battistini, and that's a lucky break for Inter. A good ball too by Bergkamp. Sousa gives possession away. Here's Benarivo. Melli. Zola's calling for the ball. Oh, and Melli was having his shirt tugged there, I think by number 7, Orlando. Not sure the referee spotted that one or chose to ignore it. It was definitely a shove. Massimo Paganin finding Battistini. And Inter will build again from the back. Sousa, given away rather carelessly there. And that's a deliberate handball against Bergami, who's already been cautioned, and he is sent off. Oh, this could be a crucial blow for Inter. And Bergami could well miss Sunday's Milan derby here at the San Siro. And I wonder if Inter's chances now of winning this game are disappearing with Giuseppe Bergami down the tunnel. It was an innocuous ball played in by Sola, and he realised his mistake immediately. Inter down to 10 men. Parma could well have a crucial advantage in this game. Here's Georges Grun. Well, Melli made himself available for the cutback, but Grun just couldn't find him. Well, we've had virtually everything now in this game. A brilliant goal by Grun, a contentious goal by Rubin Sousa, and now a sending off of the Inter captain, Giuseppe Bergami. Corner to Parma, which Zola will take. It's an outswinger. Oh, it was a good header too by Benarivo, who collided with Georges Grun. I think Inter will be disappointed with the marking then, and in particular the job done by Orlando. Battistini. Inter have given possession away far too many times in this first half, and they can ill afford to do that with one man fewer than Parma. Brolin. Wasn't the best of passes to Balleri. Sousa. 80's Manicone. Wim Jonk now. That's a good ball to Rubin Sousa. Oh, Bergkamp was almost through then. Still Manicone, plenty of pressure here by Inter. And look how hard Parma are working to win the ball back. Oh, that's deliciously done by Sousa. And that was the only way Parma appeared they could stop him. Tripped by Zorato. I wonder if this free kick is in Rubin Sosa country. Certainly has a thunderous shot from this sort of range. Wim Jonk can strike them too. Jonk standing over the ball. Still 1-1. Oh, that's brilliant! It certainly was in Rubin Sosa country. And Inter take off with a special goal from a very special player. Inter have shrugged aside their problems after losing their captain Bergami to take the lead with a brilliant strike from their Uruguayan international Rubin Sosa. He'd only scored 2 goals prior to today's game in Serie A. He's scored 2 now in this match. Inter have come from behind and lead Parma by 2-1. Eight minutes to half-time. Here's Balleri for Parma. It's a useful-looking pass. Di Chiara, unable to find Melli on the near post. Well, if anybody thought the goal by Georges Grun was special, which gave Parma the lead, they've seen an even better one. And here's Sosa again. And the referee deems that a deliberate dive. But the other side of Rubin Sosa's game, a very special free kick from 30 metres. And it's been measured at a speed of around 60 miles an hour. Balleri. Zola. It's a brilliant ball to Brolin. Brolin again with that angled header. Zola took a deflection. Sosa, not the best defending in the world. He should stick to the other end of the field. Is there time for a Parma equaliser before the half-time whistle? Zola. And it's a diving header by Melli, off target. But Inter will be disappointed that Zola and Melli almost combined to set up another breathtaking goal in this match. Well, the opening 45 minutes has had enough incident for half a dozen matches. Parma taking the lead through Georges Grun, and then 2 strikes by Rubin Sosa, one contentious, the other breathtaking. A half-time score, Inter 2, Parma 1. Parma top of the table if they win this game. Inter down to 10 men with the sending off of their captain, Giuseppe Bergami, and they've lost their left-back, Paolo Tramezzani, replaced by Massimo Paganin. His brother, Antonio, wears a number 5 jersey. Zorato loses out. Bergkamp, unable to stab it through, and Balleri will pick it up now. Zorato finding Melli, spread-eagling the Inter defence. It's a useful-looking cross. Just needed to delay the cross a touch because Di Chiara hadn't taken up an advanced position. Number 9. Singer's goal wasn't seriously threatened. It was a good move nonetheless by Parma. Corner then to the visiting team. Expertly taken by Walter Zenga, former first choice in the Italian national team, where he won 58 caps. Sosa. Young, Sousa again, he's onside. Oh, that's a brilliant tackle. Apolloni tackles Sousa in his shooting stride to deny him what surely would have been a hat-trick. Well, Sousa must have been as surprised as anybody when the ball was taken off the end of his toe. Corner then to Inter. And Sousa just limping slightly following that tackle. Inter leading by 2-1. Zola. Look at the accuracy of that pass and the header from Brolin. De Chiara. Zola. Another patient Parma build-up. Minotti. Ball struck the forehead of Antonio Paganin, and Benariva will take the throw. Bergkamp did that expertly. Sousa peels away to his left. Here is Rubin Sousa now. Help through towards Manicone. And once again it was the close attention of Apolloni which saved Parma then. Manicone, the Inter midfield organiser, almost organised a goal of his own. Parma are unhappy here about the referee's decision to give Inter a corner. They claim the ball went out off the toe of Manicone. You find adjustments from Bagnoli, the coach of Inter. Rubin Sousa to take the corner. Oh, and it almost went in. That really would have been a curious way to claim your hat-trick. Big grin across the face of Rubin Sousa. I suppose you'd have to say he intended that. This really is the Rubin Sousa show so far. Scored the winner at Udinese last week. Scored a couple of goals in this game. Oh, and there's a shot from 40 yards, saved by Bucci. Oh, that's a curious effort on goal by Inter. And now here's Melli for Parma. Well, play swinging from end to end with the rapidity of an ice hockey game at the moment. You just can't take your eyes off this game. First of all, Bucci has to save from 40 yards. Zorato. Benarivo. It's a useful looking cross, and it needed the intervention there of number 9, Davide Fontolan, to deny number 10, Gianfranco Zola, free header on goal. It really was a well-executed cross by Benarivo. Zola, the expensive summer signing from Napoli, top scorer for Parma this season with 5 goals, and a current Italian international. Minotti's forward here for Parma, number 4. Might come down to Brolin. A little bit of trickery, and the shot didn't live up to the skill which preceded it. Not Thomas Brolin's best game of the season so far, yet to score this season. In fact, only managed 4 goals last season. Prior to today, incidentally, Walter Zenga had kept 5 consecutive clean sheets in Serie A. Paganin. Minotti. Has he got space for the shot? Bundled off the ball in the act of shooting by Dennis Bergkamp. who then finds his Dutch international colleague Wim Jonk. Oh, and Georges Groen has limped away painfully after intercepting the ball before it reached Rubin Sousa. Sousa quite rightly claims his innocence, and Georges Groen seems to have inadvertently picked up a knee injury. I wonder if it's the knee which is heavily strapped which is the problem. The playing surface at the San Siro has had its critics. Some claim that the surface is bumpy and uneven, and maybe that was a problem there for Georges Groen. So here's the switch, and Matricano is going to come on for Georges Groen. It's worth bearing in mind that Nicola Berti damaged himself on this playing surface without another player involved in a tackle. Berti's still out of the Inter team. Bergkamp with a layoff. Sousa. Now can he kickstart Inter again? It's hard to believe that Inter are playing this match with 10 men. I almost believe they've sneaked one on and nobody's noticed. They've dominated the second half so much. Foul by Matricano. And Inter have the free kick. Incidentally, Parma have drawn their last 2 away games at Sampdoria and Cremonese. Maybe they've got their eye on a draw here, if they can just pinch another equaliser. Now they know what Rubin Sousa can do from this sort of range. They know he can strike the ball fiercely. Here he comes again. Oh, it's in! The linesman says goal. And Sousa's done it again to claim his hat-trick. Well, that ball struck the crossbar with such velocity, it almost snapped in two. But did it cross the goal line? It would take a brave linesman or referee to adjudicate at normal speed. Our slow motion replay is inconclusive from that angle. It seemed to be over the line, the ball. The goal stands, Inter 3, Parma 1, and a hat-trick for Rubin Sousa. Well, they're still debating whether that shot crashed down over the goal line or on it. This is Menotti. We've reached the three-quarter point of the game. And quite incredibly, 10-man Inter lead Parma 3-1. We've already had one sending off. Are we to get another? It's just a yellow card for Menotti for his foul on number 11, Rubin Sousa. It's probably the only way Parma are going to stop him, to be honest. I think that foul and yellow card came out of pure frustration for Lorenzo Menotti. Parma bidding to go top of Serie A, had they won in the San Siro, now find themselves 3-1 behind. Bergkamp. Menotti got in the way. Zorato. Parma need a goal and they need one desperately. They're going to have to force Inter back now. Tenizola. Zorato. Foul on number 7, Orlando. And here's that Ruben Sousa shot, which struck the crossbar after beating the goalkeeper. And the ball quite clearly is over the goal line. And a lot of credit has to go to the referee for spotting that, and the linesman too. This is Orlando, the player in pain, former Udinese man. Earned a regular place in the Inter lineup due to Bianchi's continual absence. Bianchi's been out now for 9 months. Here's the incident which caused the injury to Orlando. And trust the Parma captain Lorenzo Minotti to be on the edge of the penalty area, lending his weight to the attack. Shaken but not stirred. Orlando's fit to continue in this game. And a second substitution for Parma. Gabriele Pin coming on now, the former Lazio and Juventus midfield player. In his second spell with Parma, he replaces Zorato. So Matricano and Pin, the two Parma substitutes, hoping to give them a decisive edge as we enter the final stages of this game. Another throw into Parma. They really have been frustrated by Inter for long periods of this game. All that after they started so brightly with that goal by the Belgian international Georges Grun. Minotti. Oh, there's another great strike. 3-2. And has this game got a sting in the tail yet? Well, we've seen some blistering shooting in this football match, and this another great goal. Fully from 25 yards, and it has to be struck cleanly to beat a goalkeeper of Walter Zenga's class. Curved accurately into the corner. Parma haven't given up yet, although here's Wim Jonk. And Bucci doing the 100 metres dash to retrieve the ball and try set Parma going again. They haven't given up hope of pinching a point at least. This is Pin. Inter look absolutely exhausted. Sousa, Wim Jonk, Bergkamp, rolled into the path of Jonk. Orlando, Jonk again. Probably the first inaccurate pass Jonk has played in this match. Really has settled down over the last couple of games for Inter. Came in the transfer deal which brought Dennis Bergkamp from Ajax. This is Bergkamp. Benarivo. Brolin. Parma beginning to dominate this match. They have the extra man advantage. Can they make it pay? Meli! Oh, that's a great save by Walter Zenga. And that save, I'm sure, will dispirit Parma. I'm sure they thought this was the breakthrough they'd been looking for. And when Meli found himself unmarked, he couldn't beat Walter Zenga. Brolin. Melli. Benarivo! It's all Parma in the closing stages. Here's the instant which injured number 5 Paganini. A painful blow, but Inter's goal remains intact. That's a lovely turn by Melli. Pin. Forced ever wider by Fontelan. Corner to Parma. Still plenty of defending to do by Inter. This really would be a significant result for them. It's a disappointing corner, and there was no way Minotti was going to screw that ball goalwards. Inter, remember, without 4 first-choice players: Schillaci, Berti, Bianchi and Ferri. They've lost their captain, Giuseppe Bergami. They've lost their fullback, Paolo Tramezzani, and yet they still lead against one of the informed teams in Serie A. Pin. Brolin. Makes space for the cross. Melli. Benarivo. Di Chiara tried desperately to stay onside. He's managed to do so. Has he won a free kick? The answer is no. And he's unable to keep his balance. Surface is very slippery with all the rain we've had. And Parma caught offside. And that offside flag will be mighty welcome by the Inter defenders. Paganini suffering a touch of cramp. In fact, the Inter team has worked desperately hard ever since their captain was sent off. And most of the spectators now inside the San Siro craving the final whistle. Is there time for one last Parma attack? Pin. Brolin. Belleri. Zola. Just no way through that packed into defence, which has given their goal tremendous security. Anywhere will do for Massimo Paganini. The Inter players look so exhausted, one wonders whether they'll make it to the dressing room. And still Parma pile on the pressure. We've played a minute and a half of stoppage time at the end of the game. Pin. Benarivo. Somehow Di Chiara stayed on his feet. And a corner. Still no end to the torment. And Riccardo Ferri will play just a few seconds of this match. But this surely is just a delaying tactic by Inter. He's a lucky one. He gets a warm bath before the others. And Riccardo Ferri, who's been out injured since March, makes his first league appearance since. So he will come on to stiffen the defence for the last few seconds of the game, as Parma try and plot a late equaliser. Zenga got his fist to the ball. And here come Inter again with Rubin Sosa. And he greets the foul as if it were the final whistle. That can't be too far away. Rubin Sosa, whose hat-trick will be talked about for months and months, seems to have settled this game. And a free kick now to be taken by Wim Jonk. It is Manicone. It's a win for Inter against the odds. And the man who's given it to them is the Uruguayan Rubin Sosa. Two explosive free kicks, one which almost shattered the crossbar, and the first a contentious goal when Parma claimed he and Dennis Bergkamp were in an offside position. All that after Georges Gruen had given Parma the lead, and Inter were reduced to 10 men with the sending off of their captain Giuseppe Bergami. But Sosa is the hero of the San Siro. Can he do it again on Sunday in the Milan derby? It's defeat then for Nevio Scala's team. The final score, Inter 3, Parma 2.